Did Howland deserve to be fired? And for that, I'll turn to Skip Bayless.
Stephen A., I believe that Ben Howland did deserve to be fired. I thought he routinely was one of the best recruiters in America, yet he routinely overcoached teams that underachieved. And it's difficult to say that when you have 3 straight Final Four teams, Stephen A. But when you look at that third Final Four team, Carrie, by the way, UCLA graduate.
Yes.
That team featured Kevin Love, Westbrook, Collison, and Mbah Moute. We're talking about 4 NBA starters, if not stars. And Josh Shipp was also on that team. And in the semifinal, they get blown off the floor by Derrick Rose's Memphis team that went on to lose to Kansas, as you remember, for the championship. And the previous 2 Final Four teams had various combinations of Aflalo and Collison and Mbah Moute and Jordan Farmar. So you've got NBA players all over the place, and you can't cash one time. It's just hard for me to buy how he kept recruiting all the way up to this year. The #1 recruiting class in the country was Ben Howland's at UCLA, and it just didn't quite click. Now, to give him a break, Jordan Adams did get, he turned his ankle, hurt his foot badly on the last play of the semifinal game in the Pac-12 tournament. So I got to give him a break there. But you still have Shabazz Muhammad, and it still should be enough to advance, to be better than to lose by 20 in the first round of the NCAA tournament in a game I gave them a shot at winning. So in the end, I think 10 years was enough of Ben Howland, who could really recruit but overcoach.
You know, Skip, I've always had a lot of respect for Coach Ben Howland. I had the pleasure of meeting him one time. We were at a hotel, an Intercontinental Hotel on Avenue of the Stars in Los Angeles a few years ago when he was en route to one of 3 consecutive Final Four appearances. I know the man knows the game of basketball. I remember the job he did at Pitt before going out to UCLA. There is no doubt that the man knows how to coach the game of basketball. And you've got a 233 and 107 record overall while you've been at UCLA, and you finished 25-10 this year, and you win the Pac-12 regular season title. You deserve the respect that people like myself will not hesitate to give him. Having said that, prefacing my comments with that, I'd like to state for the record that I completely and totally agree with what you said. He deserved to be fired. That does not mean that he does not deserve to be a coach on a Division I level.
I agree.
That he doesn't deserve to head another program. What I mean, and all I mean by him deserving to be fired, is that his days in UCLA needed to be up. We all know that the great John Wooden set a standard. It's a standard that's not going to be met. It's not going to be matched in terms of record, in terms of wins, in terms of championships accomplished. But there is something to point out here. And Kerry, being a UCLA grad, can appreciate this better than you and I could, Skip, okay, even though she's obviously never played for men's basketball. And here's where it is. 11 transfers in the last 5 years. 2 transfers this season during the season.
Yep.
I'm sorry. UCLA, Westwood, L.A., the weather, the sunshine, the storied program, the tradition.
Yep.
And you have guys transferring?
Yep.
Meaning I rather would go and play somewhere else than come and play for you? That is a huge, huge mark against Ben Howland because it doesn't typify what UCLA represents.
Yep.
People usually clamor for that.
Well,
they don't run away from it.
Stephen A.,
so
we're
that's
hearing
a problem.
That he is it was more so a personnel issue in terms of getting along with Howland. Have you heard that?
Well, yeah, I've heard it, but I don't know it to be true because obviously I don't cover their program. But I have heard that from some of the people out there, particularly those associated with the guys that transferred. But that's the key. 11 transfers in 5 years, 2 this year during midseason. Not to mention, Skip, they haven't even been ranked in the top 10 since the 2008-2009 season. You've got 2 NCAA victories since 2008. I mean, come on now. You got losses to Cal Poly, USC. You lost to USC. That's bad, okay? Because you know they don't play that in L.A. They don't play that in Westwood. The football program, yeah, but not for the basketball program.
Yep.
You lost to Washington State. All of those things says it's time for a new voice in Westwood. And that's why I support the university in making this decision.
Okay.
It wasn't a knock against him as a coach, but you needed to move on.
But I reiterate, coming out of the transfer scandal that you're talking about and the cloud over the program, he had the #1 recruiting class just this last year, Stephen A., above Coach Cal's Kentucky class. It was ranked #1.
Right.
So he continued to recruit. And I think it's because of the legacy of UCLA basketball. And you could, some people say,
Yeah.
well, he's lost some of the luster. I don't think they've lost any luster at all. Go ahead.
Well, no, but I'm not accusing it of that. I'm saying to you that, yeah, if Jordan Adams goes down, he gets injured, okay?
Yeah.
And depth is a question mark for you because you lose this one guy. That's bad enough. But when you have people coming to your program, then once they get to know you and play for you, they want to transfer. That is a problem because you don't ever want that attached to your university. You could tolerate losses. You got a 25-10 season. You get bounced out, get blown out by Minnesota by 20. You're a storied program. You can tolerate that. What you can't tolerate is 1 year after another, you're in the headlines because kids are saying, I no longer want to play for your program.
Yeah.
That's worse than losing.
I know.
That's worse than losing in some respects.
You know what I always say? College basketball belongs to the coaches. The NBA belongs more to the players.